Good morning, gentlemen. It's very early Friday morning. I guess this is day 29, counting backwards, of getting ready for Boatfest 2024 in Hurricane, West Virginia. So I got an H19 reassembled. This was going to be the Z89. The only parts that are still Z89 though are the keyboard and the CRT. It's got that nice green CRT, so I wanted to keep that. The keyboard's a little different than the H19 keyboard, not like it looks the same, but the board's a little different. It's shielded a little better. I thought it might be a little better keyboard for that reason. I was going to leave the Z89 power supply in it for when we go ahead and convert it to a Z89 after Boatfest, but the frickin' thing died while it was sitting here. So I put the Z19 power supply back in. I got the Z19 terminal board, and I got the Z19 video board. So I think that's the Z19 transformer even. So yeah, it's working, but my dielectric grease on my anode cap right here, you can't see it. I'm not going to tilt the thing up. It's heavy and I'll break something. The dielectric grease on the anode cap's pretty shitty. It sat here and got a bunch of dust in it. And when everything works, I get a cursor on the screen, the terminal logic board initializes everything, but I can hear the anode arcing a little bit to the conductive coating on the CRT, and that'll eventually run it. So it's like 2 o'clock right now in the morning. I'm going to go to bed here in a second, but when I get up later this morning, I'm going to have to run to the auto parts store and get a tube of dielectric grease. I had a tube specifically for this, and I can't find the stupid thing anywhere. So that's what happens when you're a dummy like me who can't keep anything straight. Alright, I'm going to bed. Alright, no more arcing on the anode. We got our goop back on there, cleaned up and back on there. I got the G1 control adjusted right, got rid of that big bright raster that we had, but the keyboard's not working, and I know it's plugged in, unless I don't know. I never tried this keyboard. Maybe it's just dead. I know the terminal board was working with the keyboard. It came out of the Z19. Everything was working. I guess I'll put the Z19 keyboard on it and see if that works. What a pain in the butt. The H89, man, it's cursed. Like, so much trouble with that video board. The 5-volt section went out of the power supply while the machine was just sitting here doing nothing, and now the keyboard doesn't work. I don't know, man. I know the CPU board doesn't work, although that may just be because it had a RAM expansion in it that required you to pull out one of the RAM chips and plug a little ribbon cable with a dip plug on it into the RAM expansion card. And when I tried to power up the CPU card, I didn't have that RAM expansion installed in there, so there was probably some kind of RAM error, and it may not have been able to boot far enough to do its, like, I'm ready beep. So it may be fine. I don't know. But that's not something to worry about right now. I'm supposed to be getting ready for Boatfest. Focus, Lee, focus. Alright, I gotta swap keyboards, I guess. That's a shame. This is a really nice keyboard. It's clean, it's in good shape. I don't know, man. I ended up switching terminal logic boards, and that got the keyboard working, so it's hard to catch this on the camera, but you can see that jitter there, right? And if you listen really closely, I turned off the air conditioner, so hopefully you can hear it. I hope that comes through the phone. It sure as hell sounds to me like that anode is still arcing a little bit, but it's not like popping. It's just like a quiet sizzle. And I've cleaned off the old grease. I've applied new grease, and I have put deoxit on the metal mating surfaces, and twisted it around in there to try to scrape any corrosion off of it, so it'll make a good connection. And I can still hear it doing that. I suspect that is the source of that noise. But I don't think it's arcing to the conductive paint on the tube like I originally thought. I think there's something wrong with the anode wire. I'm pretty sure it's not coming from the flyback. It sounds like it's coming from up here somewhere. So my guess is the anode, where the anode wire attaches to the clip. I think these kind of have a screw in there. It's not permanently attached. I think you can take them apart, so maybe I can fix it. I don't know. But it's so quiet. If the cover was on, you wouldn't be able to hear it. But it shouldn't be doing that. I don't know if it'll hurt anything to just run it like that or not. What do you guys think? Alright, I got the H8 out, got the dust off of it. There's a RAM card in there that I made on a perf board. I don't even remember making that. I must be losing my mind. So I've got the box of the rest of the cards is in the storage room. I need to dig that out and finish assembling the memory board, because that's the only way I can boot CP/M on this thing. Because that RAM board I made doesn't do the banking thing right. So it's got the 8080 CPU board in it, the homemade RAM board, and the tape and serial I/O board, and I had unhooked the UARTs from the tape interface and the serial line drivers and hooked them up to this ESP32 module so that I can load and save tape images and use a console via Telnet, which makes it a hell of a lot easier to use the machine. I think I'm gonna leave it like that rather than installing a hardware serial port to connect the H19 to it, and instead I think I will also put a ESP32 module inside of the H19 so that it can act as a network terminal. And then if one of my H19s dies during the exhibit, I can use one to connect to either machine. In fact, for the network terminal side of it, I may just burn Xi modem onto an ESP8266 and stick it in there. That would be really easy. I wouldn't have to write any software. That's just an open source Wi-Fi modem firmware, which would be, I mean, it wouldn't be very user friendly to use. You'd be typing in like AT commands by hand, but that's fine. That would work fine. And those support SSH as well, so that would be useful for a lot of things, actually. I don't know if you may have to use an ESP32 to get libSSH support. I don't know. I'll have to look at the documentation. Anyway, it's almost time to play D&D, so that's it for today. See you tomorrow. That was I guess 29 days to go until Boatfest. So I hope I'm ready in time. See you later.